So you know you're saying to yourself, well, Hendy, why do you have so many freaking tiny loops? Like you can't even hold them all. Why do you have so many tiny loops in the first place? Well, I can explain. So So this is the Air 65. This is the box that comes in whenever you get it. And again, this unboxing is exactly the same for the Air 75 and me acting like I didn't already take this apart. You get the little cable. So this is how you connect it in the beta flight and get everything set up for that. They give you some spare props. You get an extra canopy, which is dope. And then we have the bottom, the drone itself. So this is the Air 65. Heard a lot of good things about this drone. So here's the Air 75. This thing's extremely lightweight as well for 75 millimeter. It handles the wind outside a little bit better. You can see I have bi-bladed props on this one, whereas they give you the tri-blade props on the 65. This is the freestyle edition as well. So I haven't flown the 65 yet, and that's why I'm making this video. But based around everything that I know about the 75 and flying this thing is my favorite tiny loop to fly. It is agile. I never feel limited with anything that I can do with this from a freestyle perspective as far as like a beginner. It handles the wind really, really well. It's battery efficient if you're chilling. It's durable just because I've beaten it up. The only thing that I think I've changed is this cable here. My original one, the power connector on here was loose on some of the batteries that I was using. And I noticed it was more of a problem with this than the actual battery itself. So I cut the wires and then just soldered the wires instead of dealing with resoldering the board and taking the drone apart. And I also did that because I water coated this drone. I like to water coat all my tiny loops just because a puddle is a death sentence for these things. So even over something like this, the Meteor 65, it's nice. Again, it's durable, it's fun to fly, but it's heavy. And once you fly one of these two, which I'm excited to actually fly this, even though outside it's not gonna do so well, but inside this should be really, really fun because this is a little bit too big inside. But once you fly one of these and you experience that weight loss, you're not really even gonna wanna go back to something like the 65, and that's just in my opinion. And I'm not I'm not like a hardcore racer. I love tiny whooping, which is something I also wanna talk about a little bit later in this video. But I'm not like a pro tiny whooper where I'm doing race gal, and I'm not like, again, the best freestyler where it's like I'm pushing this thing to its absolute limits, but it is such a joy to fly this thing. So I imagine that this is just as fun, just on a smaller platform. Hello, update, I just got this in the mail. It's a box, but the box got some stuff in it. All right, so this is the HDZero Mob 6 with the new Lux camera that just came out. So I ordered this whenever it first initially came out. This is the pre-order, and I actually forgot about it for a while. Whenever you get the box, is the first thing. You get some Happy Model stickers. Nick Burns would say some stickers. They give you extra set of props and a little tool to change the props. Here's an extra clear canopy. Here is the new Mob 6 with the HDZero Lux camera, that new camera in there. And I brought out, because when I was working earlier, this is the BetaFPV Air 65, I'm sorry. Weight-wise, I'm gonna be honest, the Air 65 is a little bit lighter. This is definitely lighter without a battery, but it's very close. This thing is very, very close. For someone who wants to fly around a tiny whoop and have like the lightest amount of weight, but yet still have that nice HDZero picture, this thing is going to be a game changer. So if you really break things down and you think about it, okay, tiny whooping, These little toy drones. You're not using them for cinematic purposes. You're not really taking these to a job, and they're not making their money back, I guess you could say, like most other cine whoops or traditional drones that you can make the argument for. But what do these things do that the other drones can't? Well, fly in the house for one. Not only can the other drones, like anything like a 2-inch whoop or bigger, not fly in your house comfortably anyway, they're loud, they're noisy, and they break things. Whereas these, because the inertia of having these little tiny drones here, they don't really do anything if they hit stuff. So they kind of just bounce off of things, which is why I can just throw them like that and not really care what happens to them. Another reason why tiny whoops are so freaking awesome is because of practice, practice, practice.
Listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
Yes, practice. Practice makes perfect. Now, if your main thing is flying 5-inch quads, then you obviously should be practicing on 5-inch quads. But if we're being honest, when do you always have the time or the space or opportunity to be able to practice with something like a 5-inch, or even just to be able to fly a bigger, like a 2-inch whoop? And tiny whoops allow you to do that because you can fly them virtually anywhere at any time, at any time of the year. They're good in small places. You can make little courses even in a small room. If you want to go and fly outside, you can with some of the bigger ones like the Air 75. That's a great tiny whoop to be able to fly outside, or even something like a Mob 8. And they're so small that they don't get attention from people, and that's one of the biggest things that I really want to make apparent is the Karens, for the most part, the mid-level Karens. Now you get them boss Karens just mad that you even out there, but you get the mid-level Karens, most of the time they don't really care about something that's this small because, hey, it's a toy. This could be something that she could get for her kid or something like that. Whereas flying a 5-inch around, you start to get people who are like, oh, that's too big of a drone. Oh, that scares my dog. You can't fly that here. You start to get that type of stuff. So then it makes it difficult a lot of times, especially whenever you have to drive out to these places, or you're risking doing things like trespassing and, you know, trying to get into abandoned places and then dealing with law enforcement if they get called because you're flying there. Point being is that bigger quads are loud, they draw attention to you, and then because of that, a lot of times you don't have the opportunity to fly. I know that's an issue that I deal with. You know, I live in the suburbs. I'm not far from, you know, certain parks and stuff like that I can kind of get around and just be able to like at least get the quad in the air. These are a great way to just be able to get out and fly around unbothered. And then again, you're getting more flight time, you're getting more time in the air, you're getting more time on the sticks. And all that is just helping to improve who you are as a pilot. So these are definitely the way to go as far as just practice and just general flying when it comes to FPV. I mean, obviously I have not flown this just yet because I'm just now sitting here making this video, but analog isn't bad, like as a picture quality. I know the big thing with HDZero is obviously this camera, and I haven't seen it with my own eyes yet, so I'm not going to completely, you know, rule it out, and I'll let later me come in and be like, yo guys, this was worth it. This is the last thing that I wanted to kind of sum up in the video as far as comparing these two drones together. The new HDZero with the new Lux camera in it versus the Air 65. There we go. I wanted to compare these two drones just in image quality, and then if you were, you know, in the market looking for a new tiny whoop, arguably these two are the best on the market that you could buy at the moment. But is it really worth the money to spend $200 on the HDZero one versus $100 for the Air 65? We'll let you guys decide, and Jay's also going to test out the cameras here and see if it's worth the upgrades. So this is analog right now. This is the Air 65 that is connected. And Jay's going to fly inside.
Let's do it.
Okay, I'm gonna take it slow. This does feel a lot more floaty than last time, I felt like.
See, that's the lightness of that Air 65 and the analog. It's real lightweight, real easy to control. Picture-wise, how do you think it's doing, like as far as handling highlights and just overall clarity?
Overall clarity, I mean, it's analog. Honestly, it's not that bad. I'm
No.
kind of cooking. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. Compared to last time,
Or dude,
Yeah,
you're
catch,
doing laps. Okay. Yep. He's nice. You were okay.
Honestly, the picture quality was for analog was pretty good. I ain't gonna lie to you, like it was actually pretty good. Like
Okay.
now, granted, this is very close proximity. Like when we were flying like analog like outside, but I feel like it was different when you get to like when you really stretch that signal.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like it was terrible.
All right, so we're gonna get another battery on. We're gonna open up the window, and I'm gonna have you try to fly outside
With the analog.
with analog. Yep.
All right.
All right. Nice, nice. Yep. That's my thing.
Yep. Oh, this did a lot better.
Yeah, it was probably just that battery was bad. Nice. That was clean.
I think for like practicing, like it's definitely like 100% okay. The only thing with analog though, it's like if you get around like the tree branches, it kind of like all muscles in together. But other than that, I mean, it's still like for practice wise, it's doable. Like it's good. That's it.
So we're flying the Lux camera here. Let's see. Let's get you plugged in. Okay, I like the fix.
Oh, so much better.
Okay. Start flying around with that.
3.6. I'll do a quick dive. Oh, never mind. I couldn't see the branch. All right, I'm coming back.
Nice.
Even taking off here, that image quality is so much like cleaner than analog.
I mean, comparatively, do you feel like one or the other? I mean, like obviously flying outside in complete darkness is like one thing.
For given this circumstance, like practicing and stuff, I think I like analog better.
Really?
It feels more stable and it feels more like reliable, and it still can perform outside. Like I could fly outside with analog.
Yeah.
Yeah, the image quality isn't as clean as the HDZero, but like, is the HDZero really even like 03 clean? Like, it's like, I feel like you're like, at that point, it's like, it doesn't matter too much. It's not drastically so much better to the point where it's like, the only other difference was like, I could see the branches better.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts?
I mean, so I haven't flown this outside.
Okay,
at
you
night
fly this
yet.
outside, let's swap,
Okay.
and then I want your thoughts.
Okay.
All right.
So this is my first time actually flying this thing in darkness. Let's see.
Oh, he's doing a quick little lap inside first.
Yeah, this is nice.
It's clean.
It's clean. It's
clean.
very clean. Oh, dude, outside is crazy. Nah, like in comparison to like, I'm just going based around the 03, but like based around the 03 in comparison to.
Oh yeah, it's like you can fly outside. Like,
this is
without a doubt.
way better, and like I can already tell that like once it starts getting into like that dusk hour, it's gonna definitely shine. But like I can navigate around this tree with no issue. I can like clearly see the branches, at least enough, like I can't get super close to it, but I can get like fairly close. And then even going down low, down here to the ground. All right, I'm gonna bring her back. Yeah, dude, this. I'm not even gonna lie, I really, really like that. So that right there is $200. That's $99.
I take the analog. I'm sorry. To me, it's not marginally better to the point where I could justify double the price
Yeah.
with no compromise. I feel like there still is a compromise, and that's like the rainbowing effect. Because I genuinely don't like that. I'd rather have like the little
analog break up,
analog break than the rainbow one. So like with that con being said, on top of it being double the price, I'd go with analog. I'd buy 2 analogs. Think about that. You buy 2 of those for the price of that one. Honestly, I that's my opinion.
So I think it's always good for an FPV pilot to have at least one tiny loop in their kit. I would argue 2. Why would you have 2? Well, It's always good to have a backup one. You could argue that just in case something does completely break and you're out of commission for a while and you're waiting for parts or whatever, you can just use the backup. But for me, I know a big reason that I had at least 2 tiny whoops is one, I get a 75mm for outside, which I think is just a better platform to fly outside just because it is bigger, it handles the wind better, that you get a little bit bigger battery. All those things make flying outside a little bit more enjoyable. And I think a 65mm inside is obviously way more enjoyable than the 75. It's way more maneuverable, it's smaller, it's a little bit quieter. Makes your house feel like a little bit more of a video game map instead of something that you're just trying to like not hit anything. In my personal opinion, even if you're just a guy who you're just doing cinematic stuff, you're just trying to do stuff for businesses or whatever, learn your fine control with flying manual through a house with this. And then you could take out your 2-inch or your 2.5 inch and then fly that around your house. Now, because you've gotten the repetitions in, you feel more comfortable. And because you practice with a smaller platform, you got used to being in a tight space. So when you have that bigger drone, you just calm down and you do your fly through. Go get yourself a tiny whoop. I don't have affiliate links because I'm not big like that yet. Yeah, let's all whoop together. I need that Whoop-Preem shirt. Who had that? Barwell had that Whoop-Preem shirt on. That was tough. That FPV drip, I need that.